Many people in offshore companies speak English. However, in reality, there's always a language difference. There is a huge difference between the command of English needed for a social conversation and that needed to conduct an IT-based business meeting. It's not just the wealth of 2- and 3-letter acronyms that populate IT conversations. There are lots of everyday phrases that cause confusion too. Just talk to the team at your offshore provider and find out how many of them know what low-hanging fruit means. Many Western-based organisations find that Indians can attach surprising interpretations to Western expressions. I've seen some interesting reactions to phrases such as, "let's not eat the whole elephant in one go," and the instruction to take everything in bite-sized chunks. If you intend to liaise with a manager, analyst or programmer on the other end of a telephone, on the other side of the world, it's important that they can pass the conference call test. Take a classic example. Most graduates in India study, learn and sit exams in English. However, that doesn't mean they can manage a conference call, discuss retail IT issues and understand every nuance of the conversation. There are issues of accent, speed and figures of speech, and it works both ways. With PMCI we began with communication in mind. We teach our teams about retail, but we also help them to practice the written and oral English. We operate a buddy system so that each member of our Indian team talks to and emails their UK buddy once a week. The buddy corrects their English and helps them understand the detail of the language, with a special bias towards retail. This process has improved their English significantly, both written and oral. The team's confidence, understanding and their ability to construct written documents in the way that we do naturally has improved considerably. As a result, our Indian team communicates better with their UK colleagues and their clients, and effective communication builds strong offshore teams. In my opinion, being there makes all the difference. A successful offshore solution is not a fit and forget solution. It will demand time, effort and planning. Above all, it will demand getting involved. That means there'll be times when you need to be with your offshore partner. Success will not just happen on its own. The best way to assess a new relationship, especially one as strategic as offshoring, is to go and look at the entirety of what you're buying. Always get behind the sales pitch. Find out what's really on offer. Few retailers will buy a new EPOS system without seeing how it works. So treat an offshore or outsourced service the same way. See how it works. Don't go into an offshore relationship based on a sales pitch in your UK office. When an offshore provider tells you that they know retail, take the time to visit their offices and walk round the floor. Leave the meeting room. Talk to the people that do the work. Find out how much they really know about retail and how much retail-based work they've actually done. Break away from the structured sales approach and dig around. It will be worth the effort. The offshore service provider may say that you can't meet their people because they don't speak English too well. If they do, be wary. Be very wary. If a potential offshore provider can't offer you people to talk to, people who can understand you, and people that you can understand, then you're heading for trouble. That does not mean that these problems are insurmountable. Neither does it mean that all offshore organisations haven't solved the issues. It just means you must ensure the people you're going to work with can do the job you need them to do. Part of the Indian culture mindset is to want to understand how they can make a difference to your company. It will matter to them. So if you don't tell them your plans, where they fit in, how they will add value, they won't feel engaged with what you do. The way to create advantage in performance is to work within, not against the Indian culture. To get the most out of the relationship, you must appreciate and understand the differences. For an offshore service that works for you, search for that unique retail industry specialisation. But don't just take my word for it. Come and talk to PMC and see how we can provide offshore cost savings without the problems and inefficiencies of traditional offshore solutions.